Hey guys, it's Dark Sage, and I'm gonna go over the talent builds for Margaret and Babur. So let's start with Margaret. I recently did a video on Gajamata and Gonzo, and in that video, if you've already seen that, which hopefully you have, this is kind of what I did here. Here is the base for every build I think you should have. I'm not going to go into a lot of it. Some of the stuff I went over in the other video, I don't want to repeat a lot, so I'm going to try to hit it quick. So I get hit up often, hey, what's the best build? And I could tell you that Siege, unlike any other troop type, you really can customize to your needs. If you want to go fast, you hit swift maneuvers. If you feel like you want to take out other towers, you get ebullient. If you don't care about those, then you can focus a little more on the DPS world, right around here on the support, right? So let me just show you what I got. This is what I go out with. This is my field build. I do like march speed. I like it a lot. And because I see so many towers now, I have added ebullient to my builds. That's my decision. I feel the need to take out towers often. That's why I put it in. So what do I get? I also get rejuvenate. If you see people do 2 points in rejuvenate, you're thinking of archers, cavs, and infantry. That's what they do. We are not them. Don't do that. We need as much, I want to call it mana, just because that's what I'm used to. We need so much of rage, we need so much rage it's out of control. So you start with 3 and you try to pick up anything and everything you can. The other thing is a must is expert design. You get 6% of attack, defense, and health, which is 18% of stats. I don't know why it says 23% of governors. It should say 100% of governors, right? For both of those, as a matter of fact. Okay, that's my build. Take a snapshot, use it, yay. Here's one where I don't use the tower, right? Ebullient. And so it doesn't give you a lot of options, right? It gives you 3 points to play with. And if you take out swift maneuvers, it gives you 6 points, right? So let's see, what does that get you, right? So the rage is a must, and the stats are a must, right? So, you have 8 to play with. So what are you going to do with the 8? That does not get you all the way down to emergency protection. And it can get you loose formations, right? And receiving healed. And I like that, right? So even if you wanted 2 or 3, and it's up to you, it still gives you a chance to mess with the other. So if you wanted, 2 and 2, and then one of those you wanted to have a little more, you can, right? You can mess around with it. And again, it goes to your play style. Okay? So I'm not going to dwell too much on that. You all get it. That's what I do with this guy. Now, let's go ahead and check out Babur. Okay, here's my boy Babur, and let's go over his talents. And you'll see that it's the engineering tree and the attack tree. I've recently made that video with Gonzo, who had the same attack trees. And I would encourage you to go watch that video, and I give a lot of talk about the attack tree, right? But let me just give you a little something real quick. Here is what I use, right? That's what I go out with. I always go up to forbearance in all my builds, which I recommend for everybody. I like the speed out there to move around, and I like ebullient. I talked about it briefly, and I'm going to hit some stuff briefly again and hit some same stuff. I'm a siege main, so I like to get to the fight quick. That may not be important to you if you have other marches that are not siege and they're fighting and you don't give a shit when siege shows up, right? There you go. And you may not even care if other siege marches are out there because you only have one march and you're more worried about your front marches and not your back. So don't get ebullient. Like, that wouldn't make much sense to you if that's how your playstyle is, right? So let's look at some alternate builds. This is without ebullient, but you do want to get there. And between the two, effortless and martial mastery, in a long fight, effortless is worth it. Okay? Effortless, if you went to the build, the first one is 0.5, then 1, and then that last point bumps another 1.5% to 2.5, right? If you're going to get effortless, you got to go all the way to 3. It doesn't make any other sense. It takes way too damn long to get up to 10% if you don't have 3 points in there, right? So you could sacrifice some march speed, still got 10%, bada boom, bada bing, because you have your stuff tricked out, and it's crit, it's expertise, and you have a lot of march speed from your gear. This is perfectly fine, right? As a matter of fact, your gear is so good, and it gives you so much march speed, you don't give 2 hex, will be nice, not curse as much, about march speed at all, although I would say it's worth it, but you're not me, and you want to do what you want. Put the last 2 points here, and it gives you 1 point and fight to the death. Now, I will say, you deal less skill damage. And that wasn't a concern when it was Gajamata and Gonzo, because they don't do skill damage. So you may not like that, and you say, you know what? Nope. I'm going to do it this way. And boom. And I like that bad boy. And that still gives you 8 points. From there, you could still max out both, right? You can max out swift maneuvers and ebullient. But again, we don't care about tower so much. What does that give you? What does 8 points give you? I like healing over the less damage. That's just me. You may like the less damage. I mean, it's the same side of a coin, right? One's healing, one's mitigation. It's kind of like the same concept. But you only can max one of them, and boom. Or you take the 2 points from armored joints, and you put it there. And that's a great build, right? Boom, boom, boom. Perfectly acceptable. Perfectly acceptable. Right? All right. Look at the other video. I go into some concepts that I don't like rehashing a lot. Although I keep saying that, so I'm rehashing, not rehashing. Yeah, I figured that one out. All right, guys. Range rocks. Hope you appreciate it. Please put some comments. It does help me. It really does. If you make comments, that thumbs up. If you watch it and you got this far, please subscribe. And if you don't like me, or I say something that offends you later, unsubscribe. But it really does help me, and it makes me think that people like my content when they subscribe. Go figure. All right, guys. Range rocks. See you. Bye.